Attention passionate San Francisco 49ers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on San Francisco 49ers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true San Francisco 49ers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and San Francisco 49ers fans. Let's get to the news. All right, guys, today we've got some intriguing whispers swirling around the NFL, and it involves one of the most talked about potential trades on the horizon. Brian Burns, the talented pass rusher from the New York Giants, possibly heading to the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Wait, isn't Burns a Giant? Well, yes, but these are just rumors. And if there's one thing we know in the NFL, it's that trade chatter can heat up fast, especially when it involves a player of Burns' caliber. So let's break this down. The Giants, sitting at a disappointing 2-11, are clearly in full rebuild mode. With a cap space of around $15 million, they're looking at a total overhaul, and one of their strategies seems to be moving on from some of their veteran assets to build for the future. Now Burns, who's just 27, is a versatile edge rusher, a player who can line up on both sides, drop back into coverage, and create chaos in the backfield. He's a real game changer, a type of player that can elevate an entire defense, and the Giants, in their current state, are reportedly open to trading him in exchange for draft picks and a promising edge prospect. The Giants' front seven has been underperforming, allowing an average of 3.5 sacks per game, and their overall defense has been leaking points, 28. 2 points per game despite racking up 22 sacks. That's a clear sign that their defense is in need of a serious shakeup. Their management appears skeptical about investing heavily in their current defensive roster, especially with the front seven losing impact, with only 45 tackles for loss all season. They're prioritizing youth, cap flexibility, and draft capital, and Burns fits right into that plan. Now, why would the 49ers be interested? Well, for starters, Burns' stats are pretty eye-popping. In 2025, he's projected to have around 25 solo tackles, 15 assists, 40 combined tackles, and an impressive 7-0 sacks. He's also recorded 45 sacks in his career, along with over 250 tackles, which shows his consistency and ability to produce game-changing plays. His PFF overall grade sits at about 85, with a pass rush grade of 87 and a run defense grade of 80. Not only that, but Burns has maintained 0 major injuries and has played 12 games this season, with a pressure rate of 17%. That's elite stuff. What makes Burns even more attractive for the Niners is his versatility. He's often compared to some of the best pass rushers in the league like Von Miller, especially when you look at his ability to generate pressures. Over 90 in 2018 alone, which helped his team force a ton of turnovers. Think about it. Burns' presence could be the linchpin for the 49ers' defense, especially with the injuries they've faced. Bosa's ACL injury, Warner's and Michael's IR stints have left the front a bit thin, and adding a player like Burns could significantly bolster their pass rush and run defense. The 49ers have been known for their aggressive, versatile defense, and Burns' skill set fits perfectly into that mold. His ability to generate pressure on quarterbacks like Purdy, and to help shut down the run, allowing just about 4 yards per carry, could be exactly what the Niners need to stay ahead in the NFC West. The team's recent history shows they're not shy about making bold moves, especially when it comes to players who can make an immediate impact. Remember when they traded for McCaffrey and it changed the entire offensive dynamic? Well, a trade for Burns could do the same on defense. Let's put some numbers into perspective. Comparing Burns to the current edge rushers on the roster, he's averaging about 2 more sacks per season and has a PFF grade of 85, well above many of the other options out there. This kind of talent could be the final piece in a defense that's already one of the best in the league. The 49ers' odds of winning Super Bowl LXI sit at around plus 1,500, but with a player like Burns, those odds could tighten up considerably, especially as he's seen as an X-factor for the playoffs. His addition could be the difference maker, helping the team anchor their pass rush and create more turnovers, which has been a hallmark of their recent success. Now let's talk about the bigger picture. The 49ers are on a hot streak at 9-4, and their defense has been a key part of that success. Their ability to adapt and be versatile has made them a formidable team, and Burns' addition could take that to the next level. His skill set complements Bosa's, and together they could form one of the most dynamic duos in the league. Plus, with Burns' projected +5 turnovers annually, and his ability to generate pressure on key downs, he could be the guy who turns the tide in tight games. Think about those crucial third-and-long situations where a game-changing sack or forced fumble can shift the entire momentum. And don't forget, Burns' career stats are quite impressive. Over 50 sacks and 250 tackles, averaging an PFF grade of 84 over his career. His yards per run allowed at around 4.0 are comparable to some of the best in the league, like Von Miller during his prime, especially when you consider the impact he had on defenses back then. The Giants, however, seem skeptical about their current defense, allowing too many big plays, with their pass rush struggling to produce consistent pressure. Their front seven's limited impact, with only 45 tackles for loss, indicates they're in need of a shakeup, and trading Burns could be part of that strategy. For the 49ers, acquiring Burns would be a strategic move that could redefine their defensive identity. It would give them a dynamic, flexible edge rusher who can line up in different spots, pressure quarterbacks, and help contain high-powered offenses like the Eagles or Cowboys. The team's focus on versatility is what makes Burns such an ideal fit. He can rush the passer, drop into coverage, or set the edge against the run, all while maintaining elite pressure rates. Looking ahead, the trade market could heat up quickly, especially with the NFL trade deadline approaching. The Giants are in a tough spot. They're rebuilding, cap-strapped, and losing ground in the division. Moving Burns for a good haul of draft picks and a promising edge prospect makes sense from their perspective, even if it hurts their immediate competitiveness. But for the 49ers, adding a player of Burns' caliber could be a game-changer, someone who doesn't just fill a need but elevates the entire defense and ultimately their Super Bowl aspirations. As we analyze the potential impact, it's clear that Burns' addition could not only boost the 49ers' chances this season, but also serve as a long-term investment. His ability to generate pressure and create turnovers aligns perfectly with the team's philosophy of relentless, versatile defense. The comparison to Von Miller's impact during his prime shows how a single player can influence the entire defensive rotation, making everyone around him better. So, in conclusion, while this is still just speculation, the idea of Brian Burns wearing a 49ers uniform is incredibly exciting. It would be a bold move, but one that makes perfect sense given the team's current needs and the defensive scheme they love to run. If this trade happens, it could be the start of a new chapter, one where the 49ers remain at the top of the NFC with a defense that's even more lethal than before. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest San Francisco 49ers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now San Francisco 49ers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you believe Burns could be the missing piece to finally bring home another Super Bowl? Or do you think the Giants are asking too much? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the San Francisco 49ers. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest San Francisco 49ers news. This team is always in motion, and we're here to keep you informed and fired up. Let's go Niners!